Nick is talking sports. You better watch out, cause the Cobras are coming. Jordan and Gavin and Nick too. We're all on Arvin's Arena for you. Arvin's Arena. Arvin's Arena.
Hi everyone, and welcome into Arvin's Arena for our third episode here on the Cobra Network. I'm Nick. I'm here with my co-host Gavin Rogers, my other co-host Jordan Canas, and today we have a very special guest. We have linebacker Christian Shogun. Hey everyone, how are y'all doing today?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, y'all?
I'm chilling.
Awesome, guys. It's so great to hear you. Christian, thank you for coming on this week as a guest, and thank you guys for once again being my co-host this week. We got a lot to talk about today, including a very intense Rossi versus Kirkwood matchup this past week. We'll be looking forward to Springfield. We'll look at the district standings and where the Cobras stand in that. We'll look at Talon Dillman in the Kirkwood Cobras speed training. We'll look at Josiah Claybrooks looking to have a standout senior season. And we'll look at Moses and Perry committing to Georgia Military College. We'll have all that for you and more today on the Cobra Network. So let's get started up from the top. Gavin, what did you think about that Rossview versus Kirkwood game?
Oh, man, what a game. Not having a lead until the third quarter, that kind of stung. But, our boys, I wasn't worried at all. I knew our boys would have came back just like they did. We just needed to hit more shots than we did early on, play some better defense. And I think that's a better game early on until, the third quarter when we finally got the lead. But I think it was a very good game and great for my boys to come back and win that thing.
Yeah, for sure. I personally wasn't at this game, but I was at the game before at Rossview, and I know. It's kind of obviously it's a rivalry game, but every time you verse a rivalry team, it's always close, like no matter what. But yeah.
I was at the game. It was really, really good. Unfortunately, we were down until the third quarter, like Evan said, but it was a great game. Little miscommunication while passing the ball. The defense did show up by the second half and came out with a win.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll add on to all that y'all talked about. So, Jordan, you talked about maybe not having a lead, and that's something that we talked to Coach Segal about at the end of the previous Rossview game. Absolutely. We were up by 20 last game at Rossview, and that lead got cut to 3, so maybe a little bit of softness, maybe a little bit of lack of intensity in that second half in that one. This game, we started slow, whereas we went down, but then maybe made a little bit of comeback, did a good job finishing the half. So that was a big win against Rossview, statement win. And a key part of that win, and a big-time play that may have shifted the momentum, was Aaron Hines. Aaron Hines has played big minutes for Kirkwood this year. He goes up, gets a couple rebounds, gets a putback, and eventually ends up with an and one basket. What did you guys think about that one? Do you guys think that was the turning point in that Rossview game?
Oh, man, that play, that had me hyped, seeing Aaron go up and then get that and one call on the reverse layup or whatever it was. Man, it got me hyped, and I think that was a big change in the tone for the Cobras. It definitely got something started for us, and that was a real good play from that guy.
It was a really good play by him. I don't remember if it was a 3-point play or not, but yeah, very good bucket. A grown man basket, as I would say.
Absolutely. Aaron Hines, like we said, has been playing a lot of good minutes for the Cobras this year. A big 3-and-D type of guy, but also able to finish at the rim. Yeah, Aaron Hines, someone that we've talked a lot about. A great perimeter defender. Does a great job getting to the rim and finishing. So, great job. And yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys. This Rossview versus Kirkwood rivalry, I'll target this question at you, Jordan, because you, just like me, you came from Rossview.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about the state of that rivalry, and do you think that is going to be a rivalry that carries on and eventually becomes the stature of some rivalries we've seen in the Clarksville area, like West Creek and Northeast,
Yeah.
or Clarksville and Rossville.
Yeah, 100%. I've said this for a little while now. I feel like personally, this might be just me, but I feel like that rivalry with CHS and Rossview will slowly fall off, and it'll become Battle of Exit 8. Obviously, these last 2 times for football and basketball, it's always packed. Super high intensity games. Super close. Obviously, our first year we didn't. It wasn't as close, but this year we took the dub. Christian made a big play for us. Actually scored a touchdown. Bodied like 5 guys, but I think it will continue. I think it'll get better. Hopefully, definitely Kirkwood stays on top. But yeah, I think it's going to be a long-lasting battle.
Yeah. And to your point, Christian did have a big play in that game. So, Christian, I asked you this. How much intensity was there in that Rossview versus Kirkwood game? Obviously, that was a rainy one, got postponed. But just coming from Pennsylvania, that was your first time experiencing it. May not have a background in that rivalry. But did it feel more intense than some of the other games you played this year?
Oh yeah, it was very intense. Probably the most intense game we probably had this year. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure.
In my personal opinion, but just that game in general, no one could really pass. Like Miles, I think he only had like 40 yards. Not like discouraging him or nothing like that, but yeah, the other team didn't really pass that much neither. It was pretty much a run game all game. As you said, Nick, it was raining. But yeah, me and Claybrooks dominated on the run, and we came out with the dub.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that Kirkwood-Rossview rivalry, it may take over Clarksville area rivalries, maybe even over Warfield Shield one day.
For sure.
Obviously, Rossview losing 7 straight against Clarksville doesn't.
Yikes.
It doesn't necessarily.
It gets boring.
Boost the rivalry when there's dominance every year. So we'll see how that goes. Talking about losses, one of Kirkwood's only district loss this year comes from Springfield High School. Kirkwood will take on Springfield at home this Friday at 7:30. What do you guys see in that Springfield matchup? I'll start with you, Gavin, as obviously Coach John Segal wants to get a win in that one.
See, I think we need a win here to maintain that first seed in district. And I know these boys, they're going to be hungry for that win coming back from Springfield. I know they've been working mad on hitting those free throws because I know that's what sold us against Springfield at first. But I know they're hungry. They're real hungry for that win against Springfield and showing them what they can do and that they're better than that.
Yes, and to add on to that, I'm pretty sure I'm trying to find the score, but I'm pretty sure Northeast, actually the school you came from, they just finished beating Springfield. Actually, the score was 65-59. So with that, I actually talked to some of the players. My best friend Joshua Bazin, number 4. He said that he believes it's a fluke game, and he believes that Kirkwood's going to come on top on Friday. So I'm trusting that, and hopefully the boys can get a dub.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Joshua Bazin, someone that has a lot of history with the school with his brother Prophet Bazin playing here. So that's obviously an interesting take. Something that we saw a lot about, obviously the missed free throws lead to the loss at Springfield. But something that Kirkwood has struggled with a lot this year, and we saw that early in the Rossview game, is the turnovers. They have problems getting the ball poked free, not keeping 2 hands on the ball. How much of a necessity is it going to be to keep the ball secure in order to win one at Springfield?
Yeah, I think if we can hold on to the ball, hold on to that basketball, I think we'll have no problem beating them. It's just maintaining possession, maintaining control, and not letting the defense poke free, not letting free fast break points. We can't be having that, especially losing. I know we had a couple off of Rossview. I know they had a couple turnovers on us, which led to a couple points, but we can't be having that. But I think they'll do just fine. I think they're getting better with it.
And we talk about him every week, but how pivotal has Armani Smith been in that one? He made, I think, 9 points in a row to start that ball game, and he was pivotal down the stretch. Gets Kirkwood a 12-point win over Rossview. Christian, what did you see from Armani Smith this year, and what did you see from that Rossview game?
I've seen great things from Armani. I would say He's really good in the paint for sure. He can shoot as well. In the Rossview game, especially, he did make some beautiful passes for his teammates to make great 3-point plays at the 3-point line, and then he was a vital part in the game as of making free throws as well.
Absolutely, that's a very fair point. Armani Smith, very big in that ball game. Give me just a sec. I'll get us pulled up to these district standings, and we'll talk about those for a sec. They just came out, and Kirkwood, of course, is ranked number 1.
Let's go.
in
Yes, sir.
district standings, so that's big time, big time. Followed by Springfield, I believe. So it'll be pivotal to get this ball game
Yes, sir.
won.
This is a big one.
This is a big one. So if you are in the Clarksville area, make it out Friday night against Springfield, where we've got something special going. We've got the first ever Arvin cast going.
Yes.
Going this Friday in Springfield. Gavin, I know
Yes.
you're going to be a part of that one. You excited for that one? What do you think about that?
Man, I'm excited for that. I think it'll just be a whole fun time with me and Nick up there, Arvin casting the ball game up. Everybody, I need everybody involved though. I need jerseys packed in the student section. I think it'll be fun night.
Absolutely. This is going to be something never seen before, and we've got all that coverage for you and more here on the Cobra Network. So stay tuned in. Friday at Springfield, Arvin Cast, 7:30.
At the pit.
At the pit.
At the pit.
At the pit.
At the pit, yes, sir.
So that's all we've got for our basketball coverage today. Gavin, for this segment, I'd like to talk to you. Let's get a little preview on our baseball team this year. How are you guys faring? About a week left until scrimmages start up.
We're definitely going to be a better overall team than we were last year. We lost a bat or two with Tyler Mixon and Dominic George leaving, but I think that we definitely have the hitters. I would say just about through our whole lineup, 1 through 8 at least, that he can hit the ball. We got fielders that can field the ball, so we should cut down on errors, increase our hits. Praying for couple more wins this year, because last year we did not do too hot last year. We ended like 9-16 or something like that. It was not good. So we need a better year this year, year 2.
Absolutely. So a lot of excitement going around that program. What have you seen from Coach Yager and his ability to build this program up through 2 years?
Oh, he's building it up. He's teaching these younger kids what it means to be a Cobra and play for the Cobra baseball team. After this year, we're losing 3 seniors this year with me, Matthew, and Cole. And next year we'll have about 4 seniors or so. So I know we're a very, very young team, and I think we'll stay young. We got a great eighth grade class coming up next year, with some good talent that's coming up. We got good freshmen this year that I think will help us a lot. With Gus Smith, he'll be a pivotal role with us, pitching on the mound and in the field and in the batting order. So I think Coach Yager, he's doing a great job building it up, using his other coaches to help the middle school develop, get them ready for high school ball.
Very well said. And what do you think about a guy maybe like Matthew Dirks? Comes over here from Rossview, maybe doesn't pitch primarily, but this year he is in a pitcher spot as a catcher. What have you seen from that guy, and what can you say about his composure and ability to adapt to that spot?
And he's a beast. I'll tell you that. He does everything that he needs to be. When we played Rossview last year, that was his best outing that he had all year. He shoved it down, and we came up short against Rossview. Just one pitch, one error. That's what caused it last year for us. But he shoves it down. He's intense, and I love being behind the plate with him pitching.
Absolutely. A lot can be said for Gavin Rogers, Matthew Dirks, and this Cobra baseball team. We'll be on the lookout for that as scrimmage play does start up in about a week. But now we're going to transfer over to football. So something that we've seen a lot this offseason is the increase in speed training throughout the offseason. Something that Coach Watson has thought a lot about, as he's been very heavy into track program at Kirkwood, and now he's implementing these different speed trainings. Christian, from being in that program, obviously you're a senior, you're going to be out now. What type of firsthand experience do you have with the lifting regimen and how Coach Watson manages the speed training?
So coming in last spring, it was new to me. I was new to this school and everything. Technically my first year here. is this year, but I was still here last school year as well. But the speeding he does, especially with him working with the track team last year, helped the football team get faster for sure. And then with Coach G, our strength and conditioning coach, he held it down in the weight room for us. Definitely got my numbers up like a couple weeks as me just being there. So yeah, they both are making a big production in the football program in the off season.
Absolutely. So someone that we've seen a lot from this offseason talking about that is Talon Dillman. We've got this interview here for you exclusively on the Cobra Network on Arvin's Arena.
I'm here today with Talon Dillman. Talon, a lot of the work in the off season has been about speed training. Coach Watson's brought out a few different programs to help increase speed training. We saw on Instagram that you were the top of that. You hit 20 miles an hour this week. How much of that work attributes to your speed and increase in speed?
You know, just working out every day and doing the speed training just really builds your body up and allows you to run faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you say that you've seen an increase in your speed between the periods that the program was not installed and now then that the program is installed? Do you think that that's increased your speed?
A very drastically amount. I was a lot slower than last year, and then this year I am way faster.
Awesome, Talon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so just to add to what Talon Dillman says there, he gets tracked in earlier in this offseason. He hits 19.86 miles per hour, which is pretty pivotal. Talon Dillman, of course, being an upcoming junior this year. Do you think that he's going to have a big role in the team this next year, Christian?
Yeah, I think he will. As you know, we lost a lot of seniors this year, around 20, I believe. I think it was 19 or 20. And then some guys on the offense, wide receiver core, from some big pivotal guys that was in the wide receiver core last year. We'll have some guys that need to step up this year, and I think Talon will be one of them.
Absolutely. So someone that we're not even going to question if they're going to be a big part of the team next year because they were a gigantic part of the team this year is Josiah Claybrooks, someone who can't be spoken enough about. He hit 2,000 yards to end the season last year. Being in a running back group with him, having firsthand experience with Josiah Claybrooks, what do you think about him and how easy did he make it on you?
So he was RB1 last year. He was very good at what he does, great stability and everything like that, well-rounded. I would say first-hand experience with working with him in the backfield is that he's hard-working, you know, and he will make very big plays next year for the team as well. And I believe he got him another 2,000-yard, well, not 2,000-yard year, but I think he might reach that 2,000 yards.
May get up to 4,000 before it's all
yes, sir.
All over. So,
yes, sir.
So that brings us to this tweet right here. Coach Chad Watson tweets out, "Attention college coaches, 2026 running back Big Play Clay, that is Josiah Claybrooks, is a game changer with the ball in his hands. Already put on 5 pounds of muscles, is working hard to hit 20 miles per hour speed. Coaches, check out the film, and a huddle link is attached to that." So, Gavin, watching Josiah Claybrooks play, you are also, both of you guys, you and Jordan and Christian for that matter, were able to watch him play this year on that team and in practice. What do you guys think about Josiah Claybrooks, and do you think that he's going to have some interest for colleges, especially as he continues to break these stat records and with the increased the increase of college coaches visiting Kirkwood with Kamari Blair's recruiting?
Yeah, I think he'll definitely get interest very soon. He's a dog. He's tough. Blocking for that dude early on in the season when I played, it was fun to block for him, pulling around. It was tiring, but it was fun blocking for that guy. He's a hard-working guy, and he knows what to do with the football when it's in his hands. He knows how to score.
Yeah, so we saw Coach Watson talking about it, an increase. He wants to get Josiah Claybrooks up in weight a little bit, get him up in stature, and then get his speed up but he seems like he is destined to have a big 2026 season, or 2025 season. 25-26. We'll call it 25-26 season. His senior year. So we'll be excited for that one. With that being said, some more news out of the Kirkwood football program. I'll let you guys speak to this. Moses, do you know what?
Bird.
Moses Bird, that's right. It wasn't coming to me. And Perry Cross Sneed. They committed lately. Perry Cross Sneed committed a couple weeks ago to Georgia Military College, but Moses Bird commitment coming yesterday. What do you guys think about those two guys, their leadership abilities, and what do you think about their opportunity to play JUCO and get noticed by a Power 4, Power 5, Group of 5 school at the FBS level?
Well, as you know, they've already got offers to play at Power 5, FBS, all that, and they could play at them levels, and I know they can, but they see something in that program that I believe, that they believe in will make them even more successful in the college opportunity.
Absolutely, and that's something that I've heard from Moses, from Perry, talking to them about their recruitment. What do you guys, I'll target this question at Jordan, what do you think about Perry being a year younger and Moses and them being locker room leaders?
Yeah, from the jump, they both stepped in. Obviously, Perry has been here since the jump, so I'll talk about him, then I moved to Moses. As soon as this program was built at Austin P, from the Austin P days when we'd go, he stepped in and took the role of leader immediately. And just from that moment to now graduating or about to graduate, he's kept the role. Especially this year, you could see the development and like how he grew to be like a better leader than what he was before. And so for that, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of both of them. And as a Moses, it was obviously his first year here, his senior year. But he came down here to play with Perry and help the new program out. He did a great job. But him too, he stepped in immediately and became a leader like this, like quick. And his last game, we obviously saw at Bartlett, he played his heart out. He told me before the game, he was like, I'm going to leave it all. I'm like, what are you going to do, Moses? He was like, I'm going to leave it all out there. He's like, it's my last high school game. I got no choice. And even outside of football, like building a relationship with him, like in the span of 6 months, he's like one of my best friends now. So they're both really cool guys, and I'm excited to see them play at the next level.
That's great, and it's awesome to hear something from that perspective. Gavin, did you have something to add to that?
I was going to say exactly what Jordan said with Moses. He's a great guy outside of football.
Yeah.
I love being around the guy. He's always got a positive energy. And then Perry, I think it's well deserved for both of them go play college ball. I've known Perry since me and him were little, playing Pee Wee with the Bears. He's always been a hard-working guy. I think he knew from day one of playing football that he wanted to play college ball. And I think it's very deserving of those guys and very proud of those guys.
Awesome. So I think that's about all we've got on the agenda to talk about today. Congratulations to those guys. We've got Arvin Cast, just another reminder, 7:30 this Friday on the Cobra Network. That's going to be live streamed on the Cobra Network. Game against Springfield that Kirkwood's going to look to get. Do you guys do y'all have anything else you'd like to say?
I ain't got nothing.
All right, let's sign out. Christian?
Go Cobras.
Go Cobras.
All right, for everyone here and for me on Arvin Arena, I'm Nick Arvin, signing out. Hi, everyone, and welcome into Arvin's Arena on the Cobra Network. I'm your host, Nick Arvin, with my co-hosts Gavin Rogers and Jordan Canas. And today we have a special guest host here for you today, Miles Redding. Miles, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, boys. How are you doing? Gavin, Jordan, how have y'all been this past week?
Good.
I'm chilling.
Chilling.
Absolutely. So a big week in Kirkwood action. They clinched, the basketball team clinched the district title since the last time we were here. Additionally, with baseball starting up, we got that coming in soon. Off-season training for you guys, Miles. How has that been for y'all lately? And what has the lifting regimen been like? What's that workout routine been like for you guys?
I mean, it's good. We've had a good off season so far, and just getting bigger, getting stronger, faster.
Absolutely. So we come out of this year, obviously you come from Todd County High School. You were here your freshman year. You come in here your sophomore year. What did you know about the program coming in before? I think I talked to you about this earlier in the year, but what did you know coming in, and how has your perspective been changed after your first year playing here and just being a part of Coach Watson's program?
I didn't know too much coming in. I knew Coach Watson was a winner, was seeing what he brought to the program in year one, but he just proved it all to me, and he's a great coach and a great person.
Yeah, and these guys, they talked very highly of you last time we were in here with the episode with Christian, which will be airing with this episode, funny enough. But these guys talked about you being a leader, you being just that guy you plugged in even as a sophomore and led that locker room. Would you guys agree with that? That Miles kind of led the locker room even as a sophomore coming in. He plugged in as a leader.
For sure, for sure.
Would you agree to that point? And how do you feel? And do you contribute that leadership ability?
Yeah, for sure. Miles definitely was a leader in and outside the locker room. He set a great example and helped the team win and get the job done.
Yeah, so great praise from your teammates here. Obviously, that's Jordan Canas with you, the junior wide receiver. How do you feel about that, and do you feel like you attribute that leadership ability to the success that this Kirkwood team had last year?
Yeah, most definitely. Miles has an arm, he could throw. So he helped a lot with every game we had, and yeah.
Yeah, so then Miles, what do you think about that perspective, and do you think that you and your ability to lead has transformed what this Kirkwood team's potential is throughout your tenure here?
I mean, I love to hear that the guys around me think I'm a leader, and it just it's good to hear. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we got to get into, Mr. Football last year, very notable. You were a Mr. Football semifinalist for the Tennessee Titans. What kind of process was that like coming in as a sophomore to be a part of that? What was it like? What was it like being nominated for it? What was the process like? Can you just tell me more about what that process was like, how you heard that you were a finalist for Mr. Football, and what all that entailed?
Well, I mean, it was great. Coach Watson had texted me, and then it went out on Twitter, but I wouldn't have been able to do it without the guys around me, the O-line, the receivers, and my running back.
Absolutely. Josiah Claybrook, someone that we saw a lot from, had 2,000 yards, finally hit that 2,000-yard mark. What do you think about him? He's a year older than you, a junior coming out of that 2026 class. What do you think about a guy like Josiah Claybrooks, and how does he make it easy for you to be able to stretch the ball down the field?
Josiah's an absolute dog. I mean, he fights through injuries, and he's a big part of the reason why I had the passing yards that I had with the play action ability and baiting the defense. He's just a big reason I had a great season.
Absolutely. And Gavin and Jordan, we talk about guys like Moses and Perry. How do you feel about those guys? Christian Shogun, we had him on the podcast this previous part of this episode. What do you think about guys like Perry and Moses? They move on to Georgia military to a new part of their journey, but what were they like as leaders in that Kirkwood locker room, and how did they transform that team?
Perry and Moses, especially Perry, I know he came in and set a foundation of what the Kirkwood men, what Coach Watson wants and everything. And then Perry was just a great leader on and off the field. And Perry welcomed me in, and he was a great leader. And then Moses coming in with us, me and Moses came in at around the same time, and Moses was a huge leader even with being a new player.
Absolutely. So Moses, we saw he comes into Kirkwood the end of his junior year, so it's last year. You come in around that time. What's that process like for you coming from Todd County? What was the process like coming here? And how was Coach Watson? Did he introduce himself to you? How was that process like coming here?
It was a weird process. I came from a little school, so just coming into a big school like this with double the students at least, it was weird. And then Coach Watson he welcomed me in, the team welcomed me in, and it was a smooth process for me though.
Yeah, absolutely. So you come in, Lee Buggs, the quarterback here for the first year. What was the process like with him? He moves over to receiver, something that he's been more comfortable at. Obviously, quarterback a position, a need for a new school if they don't have one already set up, so he fills that role. He moves over to receiver. What was the process like with him transitioning from the quarterback role, the starting quarterback role, with you coming in as a sophomore? What was the process like with him, and how was it for him to just turn over the reins? What's your relationship with him after that?
Actually, Bugs was one of the first people that I talked to welcoming me in. So it was a great process, and he was a dog at receiver for me all year.
Yeah, and that receiving core is something that was very important last year. You talk about it. We run a lot of play action through Josiah Claybrooks. His play on the ground, his play in the running game opens up a lot of opportunities to play through the play action. So that opens up things for guys like Moses Bird. We just talked about him. You had a big touchdown throw to him in the playoff game against Bartlett. Can you just speak to your receiving core, guys that were put around you this year in your sophomore year to succeed? Guys like Moses Bird, guys like Torrance Malone, a junior here, guys like senior Lee Buggs, senior Gavin Hunter. Speak to those guys and how easy they made it for you to throw the ball down the field and to become a finalist for Mr. Football, to put up the stats that you put up this year.
They made it extremely easy. I mean, I knew if I was throwing a 50-50 ball up, my guy was coming down with the ball, and I knew Gavin was going to burn him every time, so I just threw it out there and let him go get it. Torrance, he's a real smooth receiver, and they just all made my job really easy. And then Moses, just a guy that I know is always going to be there for me.
Absolutely. In coming years, we lose Lee Buggs this year, Gavin Hunter this year. They're going off bigger, brighter places, but you have some guys on the come up. Our co-host Jordan Canas has done a great job. Younger guy in the program. He'll be a senior next year. Someone that you'll be able to throw to. Also got Jaden Portis, some other guys in there. Jordan, I'll ask this question to you first, and then we'll check in on Miles. What do you think about that receiving room, being inside that? Guys that left this year, speak to Lee Buggs, speak to Gavin Hunter and their role in that team, and speak to guys into the future that are going to play a big role.
Right. Well, I've said this with basketball too. The thing I really admire and respect about Kirkwood is we're a young program. So guys immediately come in as freshmen and sophomores and make an impact like Miles last year. I think that Bugs and Gavin did a great job at leading our receiving core and making a huge impact and showing us the standard. As for next year and years to come, I think it's only getting stronger. We have a lot of guys coming up, not just me and Jaden, but we got Javen too, Torrance, younger guys like Aiden, a bunch of guys coming up too. So we're going to have a strong core again, and Miles is going to have a lot of opportunities, and we got him. He knows that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm going to redirect that question to you, Miles. Throw into those guys. You've seen them in film study. You've seen some of the younger guys just being around the program, being a leader for that program. What do you think about that? Some of those guys, and also speak to Gavin Hunter, Lee Buggs, their leadership in the program. But let's look to the future here. What are some guys to be on the lookout for, and what are some guys that you've really connected with in the offseason here?
I mean, Gavin and Lee just set a great example of what the receivers need to be, and I think the receivers coming up, Jordan, Jaden, Javen, Torrance, even he did play a lot last season, but I don't know. I think they're going to be ready, and I've started the off season, and we've got together a few times. I'm ready for Jordan to get out of soccer so I can get to throwing with him this off season, and I'm just ready to get going.
Absolutely. So let's transition this. We'll stay on the football route, but our friend Gavin Rogers, co-host on the podcast here, recently had a couple visits to schools like Bethel, schools in Tennessee for baseball. A lot of college coaches, not just for football, but for baseball, basketball, etc. around here, and a lot of that has been encapsulated by the recruitment of Kamari Blair. He comes in as a 4-star in the ESPN Top 300. He's a big-time recruit, especially here in Middle Tennessee. That brings a lot of attention to the school. With you being a sophomore, your recruiting process starting to pick up, that window coming up soon for you. How much does a guy like Kamari's recruitment play into that, and how much attention from college coaches have you been seeing as maybe a trickle-down effect from Kamari's attention?
Kamari just bringing college coaches in is a big thing for not only me, but the players around me and the players that we haven't seen as much of yet, or the Torrances that we have, and just bringing more coaches around them and me, it's just it's big for the school and big for the city.
Absolutely. Yeah, big for the city, something that Coach Watson's talked a lot about is helping develop that 931 pipeline. He's been here in the Clarksville area, obviously a stint at school rival Northeast, a stint at Clarksville Academy. He goes to Gallatin, does a great job with that program over there. But just developing that Clarksville pipeline. Gavin, what do you think about the college coaches in and around the school, scouting out guys, not just for the football program, but for all programs?
Just like what Miles said, I like how Watson is bringing up all these coaches. Like you said, Nick, building the 931 pipeline, getting everybody here. I just think it's great for him to have all these connections. And like I talked about in a couple episodes ago, talking about how one connection leads to another. It's just going to keep getting bigger from there. But I just think it's great that he's bringing all this and getting everybody an opportunity to be scouted and be looked at.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that goes into Miles. Miles, me and Gavin, me and Jordan have talked. Jordan still being in the football program now, so experiencing some of the things. But as a starting quarterback, what has this offseason been like for you? There's been some offseason training that maybe we haven't seen from other schools in the district in previous years, some offseason speed training, something that Coach Watson's talked a lot about, been very excited for. What's that like? We saw on Instagram the other day, you popped up number 2 for upcoming upperclassmen, I guess you could say, you being a junior next year. What has that offseason been like for you guys? What's that training been like? And do you think that's helped with your all-season preparation, helped you excel, helped you get faster and stronger?
Yeah, for sure. I've gained in speed this offseason already, and I've gained about 10 pounds since the offseason lifts have started. So just Coach Watson knowing and having a plan for us is a big thing.
Yeah, and we have Kamari Blair. We had Kamari Blair in an interview, not on the show here, but we had a separate interview with him. He talked about his lifting and guys supporting him, helping him build up. He's recently became the first 1,000-pound member here at Kirkwood. Do you feel like the lifting program here at Kirkwood has helped you improve as a quarterback, help you get stronger, and help you develop your physical attributes? Obviously, something that gets flaunted is 2 lifting coaches, nice facilities, something that isn't at every school. How do you feel like this offseason, the lifting regimen's been for you, and do you feel like that's helped you improve as a player this offseason?
Yeah, I feel like it for sure has helped me improve as a player, and just the lifting and the speed training, I think that'll help me establish the run game a little bit more this season, get it on film this season. And it's helped me and the team a lot, I think, already.
And then Jordan, let me get your answer to that one as well. Obviously, you being in the football program, coming up a senior, you were at Ross U under Coach Todd Hood. You come over here to Kirkwood under Coach Chad Watson. What have you seen from that program? What have you seen from this program being in two different schools in the district? How do you feel like the off-season preparation compares here compared to your previous school?
Yeah, so actually I didn't get much of Coach Todd's program, but as for Coach Watson's, it's super different, and you could tell his intentions are to make us stronger, better, and faster immediately. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then for you, Miles, finally, would you like to preview this next year? Where do you see the Cobras going under your junior year? You got a lot of stars around you, guys like Torrance Malone, guys we talked about, Josiah Claybrooks, upcoming senior. Also, solid line coming up, a lot of size on that line, something that hasn't necessarily been seen in the first 2 years of the program. Where do you see you guys going this year, and what are you looking for?
You'd love to see a 10-0 season. Whether it happens or not, I just hope for a winning season. I want to establish wins in the playoffs, not only in the regular season. We did go 8-2 this year, but we didn't get it done in the playoffs, and that's what I'd like to see out of this season.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll transition into basketball a little bit. With part 2 of this episode and the previous part, we talked about kind of going into these later season games, these Springfield games, these late regular season district games, but as we stand now, we've got senior night tonight. We've got, I think, one more regular season game, and then after that we go into district play, followed by playoffs. Gavin, I'll ask you because you've been involved a lot from the fan side in the basketball season this year. What have you seen so far in the previous weeks? You were there for a big win at home against Springfield. We covered that one together. Followed by a win in a highly contested ball game against West Creek. What do you think about the Cobras, their play this week, and them winning the regular season title?
Man, I'm just say I'm proud of the Cobras. There's some dogs, and we're gonna be dogs for the next 2-3 years at least. I'm proud of them. First 20-win year in the program. I think it's real good for Coach Segal and all the boys. The win against Springfield, glad we won after losing to them the first time. Good bounce back there. The game against West Creek, we missed some free throws again. That kind of hurt us a little bit, but it didn't matter because we still got the win. But hitting the free throws, that's a big crucial role that haven't had the best success in. They've been missing some free throws that I know Coach Segal is. I don't know, he's not the happiest with that. So I know he's working with the boys every single day to make sure they at least get the little things right with those free throws. And I'm ready for the postseason and these playoffs with the Cobras. I did hear round one, our first game up down at Springfield is where the districts are this year. We got Rossview game one. So big start to the districts for us against Rossview.
Absolutely. So gigantic start. We did talk to Coach Segal about that one. He said his team's played a few good halves, very, very composed basketball as of late. They bounced back after a loss at Springfield earlier in the year, get a big one there. Miles, you were at that Springfield game at home. You and your guys, your football players, your friends, you guys put players' names on white shirts. And as we talked about the youth here at Kirkwood, I believe you had Montavious Clardy, a sophomore guard, plenty of sophomores, guys in your grade. On that basketball team, a lot of talent there. Armani Smith, guys like Montavious Clardy there. Plenty of guards. Bryce Garnett, friend of the show, someone we've talked to. What's your connection with those basketball players on that team? Obviously, you play a different sport, but that Kirkwood connection, do you have a good connection with some of those guys? And you just want to speak to your relationship with your relationship with some of those guys?
Yeah, Tay, I'm pretty good friends with Tay. I'm pretty good friends with a lot of the basketball players, and just being in the school with them and everything. And they're gonna be good for the next few years for sure.
Yeah, I've something I've covered personally on my own social medias is you coming up for Mr. Football finalist, and then Armani Smith. Unfortunately, I think he got snubbed. He just missed the cut for Mr. Basketball finalist, but he was in contention for that. How awesome is it to have a fellow sophomore on the opposing side, different season, different sport, different game, but how does it feel to have a fellow sophomore that is balling out at that level that generates this much success to that team? Just speak on Armani Smith and his success this year.
I mean, it's amazing. He's an absolute dog. He's a bucket getter for sure, and he not only gets buckets, but he does play defense too. And it's great, once again, for the school and for the city to bring this much attention with the Mr. Football and the Mr. Basketball just contentions or whatever. It's great for everything, and he's a dog.
Absolutely. So Armani Smith brings his team into a big win at home against Springfield, which brings the Cobras right on to the district tournament at Springfield, funny enough. So first round of play, we got Rossview versus Northeast, and the winner of that one will take on Kirkwood in the second round. Gavin, would you like to preview that one? We got Northeast and Rossview, two rivals of Kirkwood, two big rivals. A lot of people came from those schools to Kirkwood. Either way, there we've got a rivalry game coming up for you on the second round of that district tournament. Gavin, what do you think about that one? And do you think that the Cobras are going to be able to get it done, run through that district tournament?
Absolutely. I think the Cobras they'll do just fine. We beat Rossview twice. We beat Northeast twice. So Northeast there won't be any sort of problem against us. We put up 50 balled them at Northeast.
Northeast has not had a good year against us in any sport for that matter.
Nah, but Northeast, not worried about them. Looking here at Max Preps, Rossview only beat them by 5 when they played them at home, and when they played them in Northeast, they beat them by, let me say, about 15 or so.
That could be a fun one.
That could be, but I'd like to see how that game goes, and whoever wins, we're going to beat them and knock them right out. So it don't matter to us.
Sure. Absolutely. So earlier this season, right after the Springfield game at home, I got this interview with Coach Segal. It's an exclusive interview. We'll have it for you right here next.
Coach Segal after a big 34-point win against Springfield. Coach, this is one you wanted back after losing earlier in the district schedule. With this, you claim the ownership of the regular season title for the district. How much does this one win mean tonight, and how much does it mean to get this game back?
It meant a lot in the standings, but it meant a lot to us as a program. We didn't feel like we played up to our potential. We didn't feel like we played as hard as we needed to when we lost to them, and it's been it hadn't set easy with us, and we had some tough meetings after the last game. So we tried to remember that and come out and take care of business tonight. And I thought they did that. We played with an edge tonight. When we play hard and play with that edge, I think we're pretty good.
Your team's played great basketball the last three halves, strong half at Rossview, and you guys looked very composed tonight. How much of that is Armani Smith and his consistency? He had 20 points tonight. It seems like he has 20 points every night, averaging 20 on the year. How did that guy play tonight, and how did he influence the score?
Armani, I think one thing that gets lost is how consistent he is. As far as he finds ways to score the ball that are sometimes unconventional, but he's always going to give you, 20 or so a night. I think that was a very astute observation. The last three halves have been played very well by us because, at halftime of the Rossview game, I thought we had to do some figuring some stuff out. We had to go out and play with an edge and play with some toughness. And I think the last three halves we played with the amount of toughness that we need to be successful.
Absolutely. And obviously, big win, so you don't want to harp on stuff too much. But free throws have been an issue throughout the year. We saw that the first time we played Springfield, there was a stretch in this ball game. I think Garnett may have missed a few. Smith may have missed a few. I don't know if I'm recalling exactly correct. But what goes into fixing that and becoming more consistent from the line as you get into these more important district games in the playoffs?
Well, we practice it every day. After our struggles early in the year, we did try to practice them a little bit more and make sure they were more game-like. But at the end of the day, you got to step up and make them. I thought on Tuesday night we made some big free throws. Missed a few tonight. I was hoping our struggles were over, but tonight they kind of flared back up. But I think it's just a work in progress. You just got to keep doing it. And we've got good shooters. Good shooters usually make free throws, and as long as we keep working on it and they keep getting confidence at the line, I think we'll be fine.
There was a stretch here towards the end of the game. Armani Smith hits Chance Austin under the rim. He slams it down, followed by Aaron Hines. He tried to get that one, maybe a little bit of a rim grazer, but Armani Smith got that one done for him on the fast break. How cool was that to see, and how did it feel that one really cemented the victory tonight?
Yeah, I know I enjoy as much work as they put into it. I enjoy when they're having fun, and I think at the end of some of those games they do a good job of sharing the ball and cheering for each other and having a good time.
Thank you, Coach. Great win and good luck as we go into district. Well, we got Monty Smith over here. I think we need Monty next. Great game, Coach. We want to put on.
All right, that was a great interview, a great talk I had with Coach Segal as he previews his team going into the postseason. We'll keep you updated here on that front, but finally here today, I just want to talk about next week's episode. We have a guy, Matthew Dirks, middle infielder and starting pitcher for Kirkwood this year, someone that you played a lot of ball with, Gavin. You come from rival schools. You were at Northeast. He was at Rossview. Now he's pitching to you. Talk about that guy. Talk about our special guest here next week. And just talk about that baseball team. We're a few days away from y'all's first scrimmage. First scrimmage is today. First scrimmage is today, I've been informed. Talk about those baseball Cobras, and are y'all ready? Talk about Matt Dirks and him pitching to you.
Well, Matthew Dirks, of course, coming from Rossview, me coming from Northeast. May not think that we had a whole bunch of connection there, but we played travel ball since we were little. We played together for quite some time. We've been a battery together for years and years, and then us both coming to Kirkwood. That's just some chemistry between me and him that we've built up, and he trusts me, I trust him. That's just a good thing that a good starting pitcher and catcher can have, just a good chemistry between the two. And of course, whenever Dirks isn't on the mound, he'll be shortstop, second base. We've got pitchers to back him up. Gus Smith, we've got plenty. And then that dude at the plate, he'll be a great help for us at the plate. Been in the first three of the lineup, he'll do his job perfectly. And then our Cobras this year for baseball, I think we'll be fine, better than last year, a lot better than last year. I think we have more of a sound team together. I think we'll do better than last year for sure.
So you have scrimmage games, similar to what Miles and Jordan have for football season. You play a few scrimmages before the regular action gets up. What are you looking for in that one? You've got Clarksville Academy tonight, is that right?
Yep, that's it.
We got Clarksville Academy tonight in a scrimmage. What are you looking for to see in your team in that one? How much energy are you looking to see for your team? Obviously, this isn't one that goes on the record, but it's one that you want to have. You want to have a competitive spirit. So what are you looking for your guys tonight, and what would you like to see in that one?
Of course, I want our boys to play hard and ball out. How I know that they can, but also I'm looking at Coach Yager, Coach Monjoy, working on a lineup for our opening day up in a couple weeks. So I know they'll be looking on for everybody. We're going to get everybody in. They're going to be looking at everybody, trying to find someone in that starting nine to fill the spots that we might not have completely filled yet. But I know they'll be looking. I'm looking as well, being one of our senior captains. That's just my job to help the team and get to the best place that they can be.
Absolutely. So that ought to be a big one tonight. Scrimmage tonight. We got Clarksville Academy in Kirkwood. Also on the basketball front tonight, we've got senior night here at the pit. We've got Kirkwood basketball action coming in for you. As we wrap it up here on Arvin's Arena, I just want to say to Miles, thank you so much for being on the show today. We're looking forward to seeing you play for a couple more years. Obviously, you have a very bright future. So thank you so much, Miles, for being here on the show. Thank you to my co-host, Gavin Rogers, Jordan. Do any of you guys have anything left to say here before we wrap it up today?
No, I'm good.
No, sir.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and go Cobras. That's all we've got for you here on Arvin's Arena.
Hey.